Alright, check mic 2 1 2. Type 1 if you can hear me well and you can see the picture. I guess everything should work fine. And we're gonna start in just 2 minutes. But before that, tell me, where are you from? How is your day going? How is your trading going? And tell me about your experience related to automated trading. I guess the vast majority of you are already using the Bitsgap automated trading bots. So I'm really interested in your results, and if there are any who have significantly boosted their profits as a result of other previous webcast sessions where I explained how to use the Bitsgap bot, how to optimize trading. Okay, there are people from Toronto, Argentina, nice. We are very widely spread. United Kingdom, greetings. Spain, hola. Okay, my friends, so let's start. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Dmitry and I'm the portfolio manager, trader, and together with Bitsgap we are working on the automated trading optimization to allow you to protect your trades from the falling market and to maximize your return on the sideways and the uptrend markets. And those who participated on previous webcasts, today you will get new information about, first of all, the difference between the investment change and the bot profit, basically what makes up the investment change and how to spot the difference and to take this calculation into account when it comes to your trading optimization. Moreover, I will explain the trading up function and how it works with the stop loss. Also, some new updates. The S-bot and scalper will be soon united, so there will be basically S-bot 2 and second version, and you will be able to adjust grid levels in any direction you want. Currently in Scalper, you are not able to manipulate the grid levels, but with the update you will be able to adjust them in any way you want, to have the narrow setup as you wish. And for the newcomers today, and actually for those who also participated, there will be new use cases and practical tips, optimal strategies and settings for our current bots. I will explain to you what the demo trading is all about and how to use it to discover and optimize your own strategies. And this allows you an absolutely risk-free trading optimization. So here is the keyword, risk-free. Basically, you are able to use virtual money, paper trade, just to discover and optimize your own trading strategies, absolutely risk-free. I will explain to you the key principles that we have implemented regarding the risk management in automated trading, and you will learn how to use the backtesting to validate and generate trade ideas. So these are the topics that we will cover today. So let's move on. First of all, for those of you who don't know, all of our bots, they have a high frequency trading algorithm implemented, and here is the simplified visualization of what the high frequency trading is all about. you see the chart here, and on the chart there are many circles. So green circles, they represent buy orders, and red circles, they represent sell orders. Notice that there are a lot of trades on the chart. So that means that each time the bot spotted trade opportunities on the market to buy low and to sell high, the bot executed trades. And here's the example. For instance, Zilliqa trading to USDT, and with the scalper bot, you see I was able to make approximately 46 trades per hour absolutely automatically. We also call it automagically, because you don't have to stay in front of your computer 24/7, because the bot is doing the job for you. And ask yourself, are you able to make that amount of trades per hour without any rest? I doubt so. So using our automated trading bots, you are now able to achieve this high frequency trading. And that means that you are now able to seize almost every price swing on the market. There are also other bots that we have, like the S bot, and here you see 7 trades per hour, which is also very good. And some other bots, basically depending on the market volatility and depending on the cryptocurrency pair, the frequency varies. So in some cases there will be, like with Zilliqa and USDT, 46 trades per hour, and maybe next month there will be less trades or even more. So that depends on current market conditions. So the idea of the bot is to, as I said, to buy low and sell high regardless of the market direction. So here is the example of the falling market, but regardless of the falling market, the bot keeps making profits for us, because even on the falling market there are opportunities, many opportunities, to buy low and sell high almost instantly. So here is a perfect visualization for you. And this basically allows us to offset the negative value change of our investment, but I will explain to you the protection and hedging mechanism a little bit later. First of all, for those of you who are newcomers and they don't know the logic behind Bitsgap bots, I will explain to you. First of all, the idea here is that you have a trading range, all right? And in this trading range, you can have the sell side and the buy side. So the sell side is represented by the sell limit orders placed by the bot, and buy zone, which is represented by the buy limit orders. So here's the example with Cardano trading to USDT. And notice that here, in order to have this bot initiated, we must have that amount of Cardano on our balance and that amount of USDT on our balance to initiate the bot. So that means that 2,255 Cardanos are proportionately distributed by the sell limit orders in the sell zone, whereas 112 USDT are also proportionately and almost equally distributed by the buy limit orders in the buy zone. So the trading occurs in the trading range. So when the price is trading within the trading range, that means the bot is able to buy low and sell high. And let's use the simple example with only 8 grid levels. Let's assume that we have only 4 sell limit orders and 4 buy limit orders. And we see that the price has moved downwards and triggered the buy limit order. And as it triggered the buy limit order, the bot will automatically place new sell limit order or right above this level, like this. So here's the new sell limit order. And imagine if the price then moves upwards and it triggers the sell limit order. In this case, what's going to happen? So you will see that the new buy limit order is going to be placed right below this price level. So that means that each time it triggers the sell limit order, the new buy limit order is placed. And the opposite happens if it triggers the buy limit order, and it will place the sell limit order automatically. So here's the idea. You can place your levels in any way you want. You can only have a sell side if you don't want to have the buy side, like this. And when the price will trigger the sell limit order, it will place the buy limit order. So that's the idea. Now let's go to the main page, Bitsgap, and click on the bots section right here. Here comes the chart itself, which I can zoom out and zoom in any way I want. I can change the time frame. So that's pretty straightforward, and you must all be familiar with this setup. Here below I have my active bots, and currently I have only one active bot, and I'm trading right now on my real account. So if I switch to the demo mode, you will spot that I have more active bots, because I'm using demo trading here to optimize my strategies and to find best setups for my automated trading bots to achieve highest results. So that's the primary aim of demo trading, to use it to find best strategies for you. And as we are speaking, you see that there are trades happening real time. On the right side, too many trades. So on the right side we have the simple and advanced, and let's start with the simple. Here you can choose this strategy, and currently we have the S bot, the classic bot, and the scalper, but soon there will only be the classic bot and the S bot, which will be united with the scalper. So let's start with the classic bot. It's the original one, and here you can choose relevant exchange for you. You have list of your exchanges and new exchanges which you can add if you haven't yet. Alright, so for the sake of this example, I'm gonna use, let's use the Bitfinex maybe. And here is my trading range, which is formed by the upper limit price and lower limit price. I can widen it on the chart, like by grabbing it down, or I can grab the upper limit price and move it upwards to make a wider sell zone. So you see that here I'm doing the manipulation with only 22 grid levels, so I'm widening them. But if I add, let's say, 60 grid levels, you see that my setup looks now even more narrow. So the distance between all of my grid levels is represented by the grid spacing, which is 0.71%. And if I add even more of the grid levels, let's say 100, you see the spacing has significantly reduced to 0.34. So in classic bot you can have the grid spacing reduced down to 0.10. So that's gonna be approximately around. Okay, so here for Bitfinex, classic bot, we can only place not more than 100 grid levels. That's because of the technical specifications of this exchange. And if I switch to Binance, for instance, and here we have other trading to BNB. Well, no, actually let's use another one. Let's use those that we have recommended below. So on the right side here we have strategies, and you see that they are named recommended strategies. So these are recommended strategies specifically for the classic bot in terms of best return for the monthly period. So taking into account the data of the last month, these are the cryptocurrencies that had the best return. All right, and we also select them based on the liquidity, so that you will be able to have your trading on most liquid cryptocurrencies. So here it is. Notice that each time I click on the cryptocurrency pair, which is recommended by the Bitsgap, the recommended upper limit price and lower limit price is automatically set. But if you don't like this setup, you can easily change it in any direction you want. So here, let's say I want 110. Yeah, so now you see the grid spacing is 0.11, and I can even put more. So now we have the minimum possible grid spacing for the classic bot at Binance. So in order to initiate that amount of grid levels, the system is telling me that I must have at least that amount of USDT. Because for each grid level, there is an investment allocated, all right? And on Binance, there are requirements. For instance, if you choose BNB trading to USDT, in this case, the minimum order size is going to be 10 USDT. So that's something that you always have to keep in mind when it comes to trading, because depending on the exchange, trading specifications, they vary significantly. So in this case, in Binance, it can be $10. On OKEx, it can be lower. So that depends on the exchange, all right? But here you see that in order to initiate that amount of grid levels, I must have 1,400 USDT. If I don't have that much money on my account right now, and as you can clearly see on my balance, I only have 672 USD available. So that means that I should click on the adjust. Now I have my grid levels reduced to 52, but now I'm able to initiate the bot with my available USDT. So that's pretty simple. And if you want to initiate the bot with more of the grid levels, then in this case, make sure that you take some balance out of your currently trading bots. For instance, let's assume that I don't want my BTC to USD as bot trading anymore. So by clicking close and selling all of the BTC at current price to USD, the full exit to USD will be initiated, and now you will spot that on my balance. No, actually, sorry, that was Bitfinex. But what if I close, let's say Bitcoin Cash trading to USDT, but here I have only 48. So that means that I will add to my currently available amount of USDT only 48 USDT. So you get the idea, all right? So if you want to get additional coins, make sure that you can take them out of your active bots, which are no longer relevant to you. Because here, let's say I have Zilliqa trading to USDT, and as the market is moving in the direction which I successfully predicted, I'm not interested in closing this bot. But let's assume that it's no longer relevant to me, then by clicking on close, I would easily get my 3,700 plus the profit that I've generated added to my available USDT, and then I would be able to launch new bot with new investment allocation. Let's click back to the classic bot and choose, let's say, Neo trading to, no, actually I have Neo, maybe BTT trading to USDT. And let's have only 400 USDT allocated to this bot. In this case, I click on the adjust, and now with only 33 grid levels, I am able to launch this bot having a 400 investment allocation. Simply by clicking on the start the bot, you will get a notification that in case if you don't have enough of the BTT on your balance, the system requires you to buy it at current market price to initiate the bot. All right. So the question here is, where can I see the information regarding the investment allocation? So by clicking on the advanced section, you see the difference here. So here, the investment allocation is specified to you, and you see that in order to initiate this bot with 33 grid levels, you must have that amount of BTT, which will be allocated to all of these sell limit orders. All right. And 197 USDT will be allocated to these buy limit orders, because otherwise you won't be able to launch this bot. And as I don't have currently on my balance that amount of BTT, when I click on start the bot, it tells me that I must buy missing amount of BTT. I click on yes. But you're actually not forced to use this recommended market buy. You can go to the trading account and manually buy the required amount of BTT using limit order, where the fees are less compared to market orders. But let's say you are in a rush and the market is about to let's say it's about to appreciate significantly according to your analysis or whatever. You don't have that much time to go on trading and then buy it by the limit price. Using recommended strategy here, I mean using the recommended buy market option, in case if you don't have enough of the base currency on your account, you will get to the market almost instantly. So that's something that you have to keep in mind. And if you are not in a rush, then going to trading and buying the required amount to launch the bot can be an option for you. Now let's come back to the presentation. So yeah, you've noticed here on the Bitsgap that we have these columns. The investment, it's pretty clear. High price, low price, that defines your trading range. Here you have grids, those grids that you set here, and transactions. So that's the amount of transactions that the bot has managed to execute for you. So notice that for, let's say, Zilliqa trading to USDT, for only 6 days, I had over 6,700 executions in total. So that's insane amount of trades actually. And here you have the created time, elapsed time, basically the duration, and here comes the investment change and the bot profit. So many traders that are already using Bitsgap platform, they have some troubles when it comes to investment change and the bot profit. So let me explain to you what this is all about. In this example, I have my BNB trading to USDT and my current investment change is negative. So I'm down by 0.7%. But my bot profit is positive. It's 0.27%. So in order for me to get the idea of the investment change, by clicking on the view button here on any active bot, sorry, the system is lagging a little bit, so it takes time for me to open this. Yeah, so by clicking on the view button here, you see the specification, and in open orders you see all of your active base currency and all of your active quote currency. And by by making a sum of the base currency with the quote currency, you will get your current investment value. So here, if I multiply, I have here BNB, all right? So that's 15.68 BNB currently in my sell orders, all right? And I see that my current price is 17.08. So by multiplying my currently my current amount of BNB allocated in this bot by the current price and adding USDT, which is allocated to my current buy limit orders, and adding my bot profit, all right, I get the investment value. And taking into account that the bot has generated some profits for me, this profit is used to offset the negative value change of my total investment. So let me show you this on the chart. I have to go to to my real account, and yeah, it's lagging a bit, so we have to wait. Sorry for that. So let me refresh the page. Hope this time it will work. Yeah. Sometimes it really takes time because I now have quite many programs launched to run this webcast, so that means that my power is limited. So I have to wait a little bit. While we are waiting, tell me how many trades per month on average you make? Just interested. Because I know that some people can make only 2 trades per month and they can outperform those who make 100 trades per month. So there are many different trading styles. Hopefully it's gonna work now. I actually never had this problem before on previous webcasts, even though I had pretty much the same amount of active bots and the same programs launched. So that might be something related to Bitsgap servers. Let's just give it some time to refresh. Okay, so it looks like we are back in the game. Okay, almost here. And now give me the chart, please. Thanks a lot. So here you can see my BNB trading to USDT, the example that I used in the presentation. And remember So see, the investment change is now minus 1.9%, but what would be the effect if you just would simply hodl BNB instead of using automated trading, which I'm currently using? So here is the point of my inception. Here is the point when I started this bot, and now you see the current price is over here. So if you wouldn't launch the bot, your investment change would be minus 3.5%. But as I'm using automated trading and I have my bot profit to offset the negative value change of this drop down, my investment change is only minus 2%. So spot the difference. This is the perfect example of the hedging, all right? Perfect example of how you can protect your trading from the falling market using automated trading. So the profit generated by the bot is only in the quote currency, in USDT, and it's regardless of the market direction. Either it goes upwards, sideways, or downwards. You see, it always spots opportunities to buy low and sell high, and this allows the bot to make profits for you, which it then uses to offset the negative value change of the base currency, because you see the base currency now is falling. And without automation, my investment change would be minus 3.5%, whereas with automated trading, it is only minus 2%. That's the cool thing about Bitsgap automated trading bots. Let's continue. Here's another example with data trading to BTC. Same here, point of inception. If I wouldn't use the bot, my investment change would be minus 4%. So if you would simply hodl data, all right, you would be in the negative zone of minus 4%. But here I have my active bot making profits for me on every market swing. And it uses this profit to offset the negative value change of my total investment. And that's why I have only minus 2%. So that's double protection. So we have here twice less of the investment change. That's the double protection here. Let's move on. Regarding optimal strategies, as I said, the upside market is one of the optimal scenarios to launch the bot, because here you are not only affected by the positive value change of your BNB, because the BNB is growing. That means that the price of BNB is appreciating, and that means that your investment value is also appreciating. And most importantly, here on the upside market, you are not only affected, as I said, by the positive value change, but you allow the bot to use your base currency to make profits for you in Ethereum. So each time it spots buy and sell opportunities, it accumulates profits in Ethereum. So that's what we call active investment change, where the value change plus the bot profit is what you get. Another cool thing is that on the sideways market, you can also earn during the stagnation. So sideways market is basically the period when the price is neither going upwards nor it goes downwards. So it is trading somewhere in between, in the channel, in the sideways, in the flat zone, and allowing the bot to trade for you in this zone, additional profit will be generated for you. And now I will show you another perfect example. It was my recent trade, Bitcoin Cash trading to USDT. Here is a perfect sideways market. All right. So it allowed me to make plus almost 16% of the investment change. And if I wouldn't launch the bot on this sideways market, in this case, my investment change would only be 10%. But having my trading bot making profits for me, it adds value to my investment change, and this accounts in 16%. So the difference here is almost 6%. Well, actually 5%. Yeah, so here's the perfect example how on the sideways market you can easily outperform those who simply hodl cryptocurrencies and do nothing about them. So let the bot make profits for you during this stagnation and maximize your return on the upside market. So here comes the instrument which will allow you to follow the price appreciation, so that the bot will be able to seize almost every market swing. So what is the trading up? Notice that at Bitsgap page here, when you go to the advanced section, here you have the trading up function. And if you click on the question mark, you get the explanation that the trading function, it automatically moves the grid up when the market price increases. So what this is all about? Here you see that your trading range is defined by the upper limit and the lower limit price. That's pretty straightforward. Let's imagine that the price then moves upwards. So what's going to happen when you have the trading up function on is that your trading range is going to follow the price. And in this case, your upper limit price will move upwards up to here, and your lower limit price will move upwards to here. Let's assume that later the price starts moving upwards again. So now you have the new higher high. And that means your trading range will also follow the price, like this. But let's assume that then the price moves downwards and it breaks the lower limit price. So it goes below your trading range. In this case, the trading range will not follow the price depreciation. So that means that here there will be no trades because your trading range is above this price level. But when the price comes back to this trading range of yours, it will start trading again for you. And let's assume that later it makes a new higher high. In this case, yeah, pretty simple. Upper limit is going to be over here, and the lower limit price will also move upwards. So that's the idea of the trading up function. Here's the example with NG trading to BTC. I have 54 grid levels, that investment value, and I'm using the SBot strategy with trading up function on. So as I had my trading up function on, this allowed me to profit on this market surge. And initially you see that my trading range was defined by these levels. So that's 1637, which is, wait a second. So you see that's 1637 over here. That's my upper limit price, and 1402 is my lower limit price. But as I had my trading up function on, when the price has successfully breached the upper limit price, my trading range started automatically to follow the price. And you see that my trading range is now over here. All right. Otherwise, if I wouldn't have my trading up function on, I would stay here and I would miss this price appreciation. So with trading up, I'm now able to follow the price, and you see how many trades I had thanks to the trading up function. Here's the example with YOTA trading to USDT, and here I don't have my trading up function on. So you see that the price has breached the upper limit price and is now trading way higher of my upper limit price. But none of the trades have occurred here That's because I don't have the trailing up function. So that means that my trading range got stuck in this zone. And that means that I didn't get extra profits that I would otherwise generate if I had my trailing up function on. So make sure that you have a trailing up function on in case if you anticipate the market to continue the upside momentum. So if you want your bot to follow the price, don't forget to switch on the trailing up function, because otherwise you will get stuck like me in this example. What you are looking for is this performance, which allows you that amount of added value and which results in the profit maximization. So now comes the question, what are the sources of trade ideas? So at Bitsgap we have some instruments which allow you to find and to generate trade ideas. So that's another unique value that we have for you here. And first of all, we have recommended strategies based on monthly performance. These are top performers. So you can look at them and see if this is something for you. And another sophisticated, but I will explain to you in very simple terms, is backtesting. Well, backtesting is basically the instrument which takes the historic data to calculate what would be the return if you would initiate the bot at that period of time in the past. All right. So here's the example with NG trading to Bitcoin, and we have the inception date of 11th of April, and here it is. And from that point up to this higher high, the price has appreciated by 66%. And then later we see a consequent drop down to 34%. And during this period, you see that's over here, that's the same, it's mirroring the same frame. The bot has generated in the quote currency, in this case BTC, plus 34%. Another example is Binance trading to BUSD. We started from here up to here, 35%, drop down, minus 23%. And within this period of time, the bot has managed to generate plus 13%. Now they combine all of these data and we compare these cryptocurrencies to find the most suitable for you, for your trading style. And everything comes to the risk. And the question is, how much risk averse is your trading? So if you are ready to take extra risk for extra return, then in this case, NG trading to BTC is going to be an option for you. But if you are looking for less volatility, if you are looking for those cryptocurrencies that have lower risk, then in this example, BNB would be the option for you because it had only minus 23%. So if we compare the bot profit, the added value of NG generated here was, it outperformed the BNB by 21%, but the risk for this 21% of added value was extra 10% of the risk. And if we simply divide the bot profit by the downside risk, we will get the ratio of how much we take the risk in percentage for a given percent of return. So here for 1%, if we divide bot profit by the downside, so that's 34 divided by 34, it's going to be 1. So that means for each percent profit generated by the bot, we take 1% of the downside risk. Whereas here, if we divide 13% by 23% of the downside risk, in this case, we take a higher risk for a given profit. So that's something that you can simply calculate without a use of the calculator. That's something that you can even visually spot, like me. So it's pretty much clear here that you can simply compare these cryptocurrencies by simply having the bot profit and the downside risk. So that's all you need. And using backtesting, you can find optimal cryptocurrencies to trade. So if you are looking for extra return, Angie, it would be the case for you. And if you are looking for minimized risk, then in this case BNB. But taking into account that you had to take a higher risk for a given percent of return, you'd rather look for other cryptocurrencies rather than BNB, which have pretty much the same downside risk but have a higher bot profit. All right. So how you can do this? You go to the Bitsgap page, and here in the advanced section you see that you have backtesting results. So that's BNB trading to USDT, and if I click on show backtesting results, I will now get the data, and you see automatically the period for 1 month. That's from the 12th of May until today. So for this 3 days period, it would have generated 12% in USDT for you. All right. You can also switch to a lower time frame, let's say to from the 21st of May till the 28th of May. So that's going to be only 1 week, and for this period you would only generate that amount of profit. Now let's compare this same return, the same period for other cryptocurrencies. Let's say Tron trading to USDT. Now we click on advanced, and we go to show backtesting results. Let's choose the same period, which was from the 21st of May till the 28th of May. Yeah, we have to wait for a second. We're gonna save these results, and let's see the result. Yeah, it was pretty much the same as in case of BNB. All right, but as they have here the same return, you are now interested what was the risk. In this case, you're gonna use the logic that I used here. So basically take the higher high down to the current price, and from the point of inception up to the higher high, to see what was the growth potential and what was the downside risk, and then simply compare. In this case we had what, Tron to BNB, all right, and find out which cryptocurrency had the lowest risk for the same return of 0.65%. And I would basically choose the one which had the lowest risk, because in this case your return to risk is going to be higher. So that's the example of how you can use the backtesting to find those cryptocurrencies that have optimal risk for you, for your trading style, for your trading strategies. So the trading route guide looks like this. So you choose the ticker, and by how to choose the ticker: use the backtesting and use the recommended strategies as possible sources of your trade ideas. After you selected the ticker, make sure that you select the proper bot, and in the next slide I will show you what makes it different, what makes Classic different from the AS bot, and what makes them different from the scalper. So once you've selected the bot, then adjust the grid levels and the investment allocation depending on your currently available balance. All right. Make sure that you selected the stop loss, which is the basic principle of the risk management, in case if the market will start moving in the direction, in the opposite direction which you predicted. So in order to have a control over your investment, make sure that you have a stop loss to minimize your potential loss. But in any case, even if you don't have the stop loss function on, the bot will automatically protect your trading, not entirely, but it will protect it, as it will use the bot profit to offset the negative value change of your investment. The new feature that we have is the take profit, and once you click on the take profit, here you have to type relevant percentage. Let's say I'm looking for the 7% of the investment change for my Tron trading to USDT. So as soon as the investment change comes to 7%, the bot will automatically close the bot. So your take profit will be initiated in this case. So if you say, let's say you put 10%, so once your investment change is gonna be 10%, so right now you see here I have minus 3%, but let's assume that for BNB trading to USDT, I have my take profit 10%. So that means that when I will have 10% here, positive, my trading bot will automatically close this position. And yeah, the trading up function, in case if you want to follow the price appreciation. And the fifth step is simply to monitor the activity of your trading bots. So that doesn't mean that you have to stay in front of your computer 24/7. Maybe 3 times in a week is enough for you to go to this Bitsgap page here in active bots and make sure that all of your active bots are still relevant to current market conditions. Now comes the difference. So you see that when it comes to optimization of backtesting, strategies recommendations, stop loss, take profit, trading up functions, all of the bots, they all have these features, all right? And what makes them all different is first of all, the amount of grid levels. So in case of the classic bot, you can place up to 180 grid levels. Same with the S bot. The minimum requirements is 10 trades. Same with the classic bot. The spacing here is also 0.10, 0.10. But in case of the scalper, the trading space, the grid spacing is reduced down to 0.01%. So that means with scalper, which soon will be united with the S bot, so that basically take this column and unite it with the S bot, and you will get the new update, which is coming, I hope, next week. So that means that you will be able, using the S bot, to have the same narrow setup as we have currently for the scalper. And it will of course depend on the cryptocurrency exchange, because some exchanges, they have different trading specifications. So at Binance, OKEx and XMO, you will be able to use new SBot with these scalper features, having your grid spacing reduced down to 0.01%. So when you have such a narrow grid spacing, that means that you are almost by 100% in the market. So that means that having this narrow setup, you allow the bot to capture, to seize as many market swings as possible. Because otherwise, if you would have very wide spacing between your orders, let's say, okay, let me draw this for you. Let's say that this is my grid level and here is another one. So you see that the spacing between them is very wide. So that means that, let's assume that we are at this point and the price moves downwards, and you see that it has almost triggered the grid level, but it was not enough. So that means that here we are out of the game, and the bot wasn't able to seize this downside plunge. Otherwise, if we have a narrow setup and we have quite many of the grid levels, so you see that in this case the bot would be able to initiate several buy limit orders in this momentum. So the narrower is your, the more narrow is your grid spacing, the more opportunities you provide for the bot to seize market swings. So the key difference between, another key difference between the classic S-bot and the scalper is the way of how the investment is distributed. They all follow a proportionate distribution, but your distribution can vary. And let me show you how. So let's go to the demo mode, where I have, as I remember, maybe I have 8 active bots right now. So I have the scalper here, I have the classic bot, and I have the S bot with both the trading up and without the trading up function on. And when I click on the, let's go Zilliqa trading to USDT and click on the view button. Well, it seems like, let's go to the open orders. Yeah, it seems like my computer is now very overloaded. That's why it takes time for me to upload the page. And let's go to the buy side. So these are my open orders in Zilliqa. I can see all of them. And when I click on the completed order section, I will get all relevant data regarding my executed orders. It really takes time for it to upload what I'm looking for. Okay, in any case, this investment distribution is not so much important. It's just for you to explain what makes it different when it comes to distribution by the classic, the S-bot, and the scalper. More information about how they distribute investments you can find in the Bitsgap blog. And now let's move on, because it seems like my computer is not friendly with me today. So I don't want to waste your time. Here are the examples. It's BTC trading to USD, and you see the added value generated by the bot was 6%. So these 6%, remember the formula of the investment change. It takes into account the bot profit. So this profit is added to this investment change, and that is how we achieve the profit maximization. Same here. Another perfect example. It's the market moving upwards, but here locally it looks like a short-term sideways market, which still allows us to make profits. And here's the added value of 0.65%. So yeah, at Bitsgap, we are working on the automation to make your trading even more secure, more profitable. And here are some of the instruments that we have implemented to secure your trading. So the first one you have already seen, and it was the negative value change, which is offsetted by the bot profit. But here is another feature that we have. We have these pumps and dumps optimization. Simply, we avoid them. So here on the left side, you see the example of the bot trading without the pump and dump optimization. So that means that as the pump occurred here, your buy limit orders got stuck at the very high price. And you see that there was then a consequent drop down. So that means that all of your buy limit orders that were initiated here, they are now in the negative zone, because you see how the price then depreciated back to its normal zone. Whereas with the pump and dump optimization that we have at Bitsgap, this wouldn't be the case. So you would have a smooth performance here, and you wouldn't be affected by this extreme pump, all right? And you would stay in the market, and your investment change would stay in the positive zone, whereas here your investment change would be negatively, significantly affected, as the majority of your buy limit orders got stuck at the very high price. So yeah, the scalper bot, and soon you will be able to trade on such cryptocurrencies like USDT to TUSD or BUSD trading to TUSD, stable currencies. So having such a narrow setup where the spacing is only 0.01%, you will be able to make profits on this arbitrage market, because clearly we all know that stable currencies, the idea of the stable currency is to trade close to $1, all right, to be equal. That's why it's called a stable currency. But in reality, it's not always the case, and sometimes you can spot on the market these arbitrage opportunities when different stable currencies, they are trading at different price to each other. So if the market would be efficient, then it would always be $1. But in cryptocurrency, we are still at that stage of evolution when the market is yet not efficient enough, sorry. So it's really immature, and that means that you see such imbalances, such arbitrage opportunities, they constantly emerge. And using the scalper setup, you will be able to profit on this market. So that's basically an absolutely almost risk-free trading here, because that's almost an endless sideways market. If I switch to 4-hour time frame, notice that the price was trading close to $1. So the bot would be able to profit on these anomalies, as I call it, when the price of some stable currencies appreciated and depreciated to each other. So that's a passive, risk-free strategy for you. And soon you will be able to launch this scalper on such cryptocurrency pairs to have this passive investment opportunity. So that's something we are constantly working on strategies to allow you achieve maximized returns, to diversify your investment strategies in many possible ways. So that's the end of the presentation, and let me show you some other tips and tricks. So first of all, I forgot to show you that you can manually adjust the lower limit price like this. No, actually, let's use 998. 99. And the upper, let's set it to 1.4. No, it's 0.001, let's say. And now let's also manually, you can change the grid quantity. As simple as that. Let me show you some cases where it's optimal to launch the bot. For instance, here I have Zilliqa trading to USDT, and I have the scalper strategy. So I noticed this upside momentum opportunity, so I decided to launch the scalper so that my bot would be able to launch, to seize as many price swings as possible. Yeah, so for some reason today I'm really struggling to use the Bitsgap platform, probably because of my network connection or whatsoever, I don't know. But in any case, here you see that was the point of my inception. So I've noticed that the price has successfully bounced off the support level. So that was the reason of why I entered the trade. Unfortunately, I'm not able to draw you the line, but here you would get a perfect line, and you would see all of the cases when the price has bounced off the support level, even from the horizontal support level. All right. So each time I see that the price respects the support level, I launch the bot. And most importantly, the fundamental reasons for the upside momentum were also quite obvious. First of all, the BTC market was growing. Even the traditional market was growing, like stocks, ETFs, indexes. And notice that throughout this 4-month period when the coronavirus situation has started, the BTC market started to trade close to the traditional market. So they now have the highest correlation when ever before. So when I saw the traditional market going upwards, I had no doubts that the BTC and other cryptocurrencies which tend to follow BTC will also appreciate. So that's why I launched this scalper bot once I saw the bounce of the support level. And now you see that only for these 6 days I had a profit of $220 added to my initial investment of $3,760. And let me show you some other examples, like Lend trading to BTC. So guys, there is no golden rule when to launch the bot, because everything depends on your technical analysis skills, sometimes even intuition, and the fundamental aspects of current market conditions. So if you are confident that the market is gonna move upwards, then feel free to launch the bot. And to minimize your loss, to minimize your possible loss, use the stop loss function. To follow the market, use the trading up function. All right. But here, in case of, let me show you once again. Where is it? Lend trading to BTC. Let's see the chart. So I saw a perfect opportunity here to enter the market, as once again the price respected the support level. So you don't have to use really complex indicators and some other technical tools which are really in my opinion, can be overcomplicated. Use simple support and resistance level. In all up markets, the prices, they tend to respect these key levels. So when you see that the price successfully bounces off key support level, you can enter the trade. And to protect yourself, having the stop loss function on, even if the logic does not sustain here, then your stop loss mechanism will secure your trade. By the way, in the trading up function, when the trading range is moving upwards with the price, if you have the stop loss optimized in the trade, it will also follow the trading range. So let me show you this. Let me show you this slide once again. And yeah, so here we go. Present. So here you see this is the trading range, and let's assume that we also had the stop loss, which would be in this case below the trading range. And as the price started to move upwards, the trading range started to adjust accordingly, and that means that the stop loss in this case would also go upwards together with the trading range. So the stop loss will follow your trading range when you have a trading up function on. Yeah, and for some reason the picture is still not uploading here, so let me refresh the page and I'm gonna try once again. So when it comes to the risk level, it's up to you. So if you put only 3% of the risk, then make sure that your stop loss is set accordingly and you won't lose more than 3% of your investment. So using the stop loss function, you are able to control the risk. If I plot the stop loss by clicking on the stop loss button, here is my stop loss, and I can adjust it in any direction I want. So then the price triggers the stop loss, the bot will automatically close the position. And if you want to close your current trade, let's say I want to close my Civic trading to BTC, then I click on close, and here I have the option to sell my active CVC coins to BTC. So if I click on this box, then it's gonna be 100% exit from the market to the quote currency. Otherwise, if I don't click on this box, then I will have that amount of Civic on my balance. But I don't want to have this amount. I mean, I don't want to have exposure to CVC anymore. I want to have a full exit. So I'm gonna click on it and I'm gonna click on close the bot. So you see bot cancelled my OKEx demo bot. It filled the limit sell. So it's gonna use the limit sell order to buy. No, sorry, that was another one. It's gonna use the market sell to sell what is left over. And if I click to the balance, you see that I no longer possess any Civic. Well, actually that's Binance, so I have to I have to switch to the OKEx in this case to make sure. Here we go. And yeah, so almost nothing left. That's only some dust left on my balance. So that's something which is absolutely okay. Let me try once again to show you land trading to BTC. Hope this time the chart will upload. It looks like yes, it does. So notice how perfectly I've managed to predict the price appreciation. So as I've noticed that once again it has respected the support level. If I zoom out the chart, you would see that there is a perfect line from this level up to here and then up to here, almost perfect line. And each time the price approached this level, it bounced off, approached the support and then successfully bounced off. So that was the reason why I've entered the trade. So these are the use cases that I'm sharing with you. You see that I have some trades that are currently in the negative zone, but these are basically the trades that I initiated during the previous webcast, just for the sake of some examples. So that doesn't mean that I've launched icon trading to USDT because I saw some upside momentum opportunity. No, these are just for the examples. Those trades that I've launched when I saw buy opportunity, they are, in this case, that was Zilliqa trading to USDT. I think that also, yeah, now trading to BTC, I saw an upside momentum, but at that moment of time, it is trading in the negative zone. But that's the risk I'm okay to take, that's fine. In any case, you can always see the history. And once you click to the history, you get the information that you need to validate your previous trades, to see what happened back at that time. Most importantly, using your current active bots, you can go to the view button, and by clicking on the export CSV, you can export these data, the price of the buy price, the sell price, and all of the data in Excel format. If you want to, let's say, calculate the Sharpe ratio, or if you want to calculate the total amount of fees that you've paid. And by the way, Bitsgap is one of the platforms, if not the only one, which takes into account the fee. So the profit that you get, the profit that you see in the bot profit section, that's the value net of all fees. So we take it into account. That basically stands for your pure profit. That's the net profit. So you don't have to worry about the fees. They are all taken into account. They are all priced in. So now let's see if you have any questions, because we have already discussed quite many things and I've covered all of the topics. Let's see if you have any questions here. Yeah, I see that questions that you had, they are already answered thanks to Erwin, who is supporting me in this webcast. In case if you will have some questions during your trading, you are always able to ask them using the support at Bitsgap. We have also the Telegram chat, which you can use to exchange your ideas, to share your thoughts regarding the automated trading, regarding the current market conditions, or whatever it can be. We have a great community of traders and portfolio managers who are constantly looking for trading optimization, so they will gladly share with you their experience, their thoughts, and together if we combine our efforts, we will be able to achieve better results. So the idea of the webcast is to share with you how to use the platform from scratch, and to share the use cases with you, to share the tips and tricks when it comes to launching the bot and what makes them different. And I also providing you with the updates and basically getting your feedback to make sure that we are moving in the right direction and all of the users, they get what they deserve. So optimization, profit maximization is what we are working on here. And there are many cases of users who are successfully using automated trading bots and they make thousands of dollars each day simply using active bots. So that's the idea. If you are cryptocurrency hodler and you don't want to trade, then considering automated trading is going to be a life changer for you, because this hodling becomes active hodling. So that means that the bot will now use your coins that you decided to hodl to make extra profits for you in the quote currency. So let's say you hodl land coin, but using automated trading, you can use this land to make profits in BTC, and then the price of BTC moves upwards. That's the added value. That's the profit maximization for you. So the difference between the passive hodling and the active hodling that we've created here is quite apparent. It's quite obvious. And I've provided you with all of the perfect cases where you see that during the sideways market and the uptrend market, you can achieve higher returns in comparison with simple hodling. So make sure that you use automated trading in the right way. And to learn how to use it, use the demo mode here. And you have absolutely risk-free money, which you can trade. You can use to optimize the trading, launch as many bots as you want with different setups, with different investment allocations, and find those to find those perfect settings which fit your trading style. So that's something unique that we've created for you. And it's up to you. It's up to you to discover and to optimize your trading strategies. And I'm here just to guide you and to show you how you can use all of these instruments to become successful at trading and portfolio management. So I guess that's enough for today. And once again, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate that you've spent almost 1.5 hours with me here. I value this, and respect to all of you. I wish you successful trading. Share your feedback, share your recommendations. What would you consider adding to the platform, which would significantly boost our overall